Alright, how's it going, Nowhere crew? Welcome back to the channel. Now today I got a pretty interesting explore for you guys. I drove by this house probably 3-4 months ago and I noticed it was boarded up, came back, flew the drone over it. I noticed that this property has a ton of abandoned cars on it. Now the house obviously caught on fire, it's boarded up, but this property has tons of cars and has tons of just stuff laying around. So it's gonna be a pretty interesting one. I am gonna focus mostly on the cars because I find that to be the most interesting, but there's some really cool cars here and there's even a rare car here that I think you guys are gonna think is pretty cool. So without further ado, let's go walk around this property, see what we can find. All right guys, so checking out this property that just has a ton of abandoned cars sitting all over it. As you can see, the house here caught on fire. It's pretty bad fire too. Looks like, when I saw on Google Maps, like 20-ish is maybe when that happened, but we got an old Chevy Astro van here. Just piled full of stuff. There's a bunch of building supplies all on this property too. Just old doors, old cupboard doors is pretty interesting. But yeah, it's just like a hoarder's property of just stuff. You can see the damage on the house, man. It's crazy. Yeah, I figured that we wouldn't be able to get into the house here. Not that there's really anything to see. But yeah, there's just old bins, old propane tanks. There's old pressure washers. Look at this pile of old records. The garage is absolutely packed full. That's just insane to me. That much stuff is just left all over this property. There's a neighbor, so I do want to stick to like this side of the property because like their backyard's like right there. But yeah, this is nuts. Looks like they like vans. A bow mill. Not sure what brand this is yet. A Bowville, yeah. It's in terrible shape. It's a Chevy. Man, this thing is brutal inside. Must have been sitting here for a long time. Yeah, I always love seeing old abandoned cars. It's one of my favorite kind of explorers. That wood dash is really cool in this thing too. Yeah, a lot of stuff though. It says Dodge and it says 600 on it. Not sure the type of car exactly this is, but an old Dodge. Kind of scared to step on something like really sharp underneath all the stuff that's here. It's gotta sit for a really long time for a fender to rot out like that. Oh, the patio stones that they have sitting here too. $65,000 miles, or kilometers, sorry. Super cool dash. Car is completely beat though. Like even the chrome's peeling off of the mirror. There's a cap for some sort of truck, not sure which type, but we got some roof shingles, a bunch of wood that's been covered. This looks like old farmhouse trimmings, like they've been salvaged. And they're just sitting here rotting away, unfortunately. Probably like an old Dodge Caravan, if I had to guess. Maybe a Plymouth. It's weird because there's just stuff everywhere. Like there's plates in here. You can just see all the stuff that's been just left out here. Bins like Christmas gifts, bags, sports equipment, old records, toy trains. So it's okay, it's a Grand Caravan. That's what I figured. Isn't that nuts? I like the rims. The rims are cool. It's been sitting here for some time though. Look how buried in the dirt that is. It's almost halfway up the wheel. So over here we got a ton of cars. Probably an old Dodge or GMC truck. We got a few more trucks there. We got a Volvo 240 DL. Like, there's a lot of stuff left in here. Got the cap. Cap's in actually pretty good shape. It's an old Ford pickup. It's not in bad shape. Actually, never mind. It is in horrendous shape. What am I talking about? Look at the body on it. It's completely gone, completely rotted out. This is nuts. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. I think we're gonna walk around and then go in and look at these cars. Now I'm not even sure if in this back barn or shed or whatever this is considered, if there's even anything in here. Okay. I do love a good old Volvo. Like I said, it's a 240 DL. Asuna. That's a very specific old brand. It's not technically rare, but it's rare, if you know what I mean. So just to show you the truck again, this was an F-150 XLT Lariat. This has either 38,000 or 381,000 K based off of the odometer. Man, I never imagined there'd be so much stuff in these cars. Usually if you abandon cars, it's just the cars, not an entire household of stuff inside of the cars. We got an old Nissan truck. That's really cool. Then another, probably F-150. Actually, is this a Nissan truck? I'm not sure what Nissan this is. I thought it was a truck, but it doesn't have a bed. Huh. Can I get over this tree? If I just break off the branch, I can, I guess. What kind of Nissan is this? Is it a Pathfinder? Yeah, it is a Pathfinder. That is so cool. An old Nissan Pathfinder. Would have had the spare tire, swings out of the way. Wonder if these old Pathfinders go for any good money. I mean, this one's completely gone. This would be a full resto job for sure, but I love that it's a blue interior. We got a 5-speed manual with a low-high range, which is sick. 321,960 or 694K, sorry. They drove it. They drove the snot out of this thing. Dang. What a cool car though. I thought it was a truck because of this window at first, but I'm assuming this is one of those windows that you can open up from the back. Yeah. I mean, closing the door I don't think is going to help this truck any bit. It's already been open for how long, but I'll close the door. Let's make our way back over here. I guess I'll check out, I got another Volvo over here. Not sure what kind. 452,483. Man, they drove the snot out of this one too, if that's the case. I'm not sure. I can't tell if it's one of the odometers that's only goes up to 100,000 or if it's one that goes up to 1 million. So it could be 40,000. Another Volvo 240 GL. Okay, so they obviously liked these Volvos. No question in that. Some very cool cars here. Like that Pathfinder's awesome. The two Volvos are really cool. I'm not really a big Ford guy. I'm not a big pickup truck guy. So that's not super interesting to me. But I know a lot of you guys love trucks. This boat's awesome. This thing would be so much fun probably. I see something so unique over here. I have to go look at it. What is this thing? It's got... I need to get to the front of it. This is apparently called a Jigger. What is this? If you guys know what this is, let me know because I've never seen anything like this before.
Now I got curious and it turns out that this is a 1960 to 1968 Jigger ATV. The Jigger had 6 wheels and could ride across land and water. The body kind of looked like a bathtub, it wasn't very comfortable, and the mechanics were pretty outdated. Regardless of all that, it was revolutionary at the time. In the early 1960s, it became the first all-terrain vehicle to hit the consumer market, and it came from Canada. As the Jigger continued to grow commercially, other organizations, mainly the US Army and NASA, took interest. NASA knew that the current iteration of the Jigger couldn't work on the moon. What they were interested in was Jigger Corporation's problem-solving abilities. As NASA was preparing to send a man to the moon, Jigger Corporation took a massive leap backwards and filed for bankruptcy in April of 1968. The issue with Jigger had nothing to do with demand. When they filed for bankruptcy, they had pre-sold about 9,000 machines. The company grew too big, too fast as demand in North America and Germany grew. They overextended themselves by buying a lot of raw materials because the demand was so great, and they just couldn't get the product to market fast enough and had too much growing debt, causing them to shut down.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, where were we? Right this way. Front angle of the boat. This thing would probably clean up pretty well. It's made out of probably fiberglass or plastic or something like that, so it lasts. Looks like almost all of these cars have been sitting here for a crazy amount of time. Because even when this house was lived in 2009, on Google Maps, it shows above that there was tons of cars sitting here, so it doesn't really surprise me. So this is an old Ford Ranger. You can see the old Ford Ranger badge. I just can't get to it at this moment. I will get to it in a second. Crazy place for that to rust out. Okay, so this is an old Ford Ranger. Not sure which year, probably 80s. Got 60,000 K. Packed full of stuff. Wow. Okay. Now, I knew there was a lot of cars here. I flew my drone over when I found this place, and this car here really caught my attention. Now, this is a rare car. And it's not rare because it's desirable or because, you know, people really like them and they're hard to find now. It's rare because they didn't build that many of them.
This is the 1993 Asuna Sunfire, a rare rebadged Isuzu Impulse. Asuna was a captive import automobile marquee created in 1992 for sale in Canada by General Motors as a counterpart to Geo. Sales of Geo vehicles were relatively successful, prompting Pontiac Buick GMC dealers to request GM Canada to provide a lineup of similar import vehicles. Asuna was created to fulfill this demand. Asuna sales could not match Geo's, and the Asuna marquee was eliminated in 1994. One of the biggest problems with the brand was the fact that all of the models within it were offered under other brands. The logic of going into an Asuna franchise to buy the same thing you could get from an established brand was predictably lost on a lot of buyers. Today, the Asuna Sunfire sits as a reminder of a failed experiment from GM Canada.
It's essentially a dead brand. I don't think I've ever seen an Asuna car on the road. But this was built by Isuzu. So I believe this was GM bringing over Japanese vehicles, rebadging them to sell them in Canada to save themselves some money. Handling by Lotus. That's pretty sweet. But you can see it's just all rotted out. It's crazy though, just after a couple years, this thing was essentially dead. Sunfire. Dash is all cracked. I would assume the floors are completely gone. This cluster is crazy, like the bezeling around it. What an interesting vehicle. Somebody smashed out the back glass. Yeah, it's a 4 or 5 speed manual, and I can't actually see the mileage. It's only got 196,000 kilometers on it, so not crazy high. Cool color though. It's definitely supposed to be shinier than this. But there we go. Asuna. Yeah. Rare because it's not a popular vehicle. It's a 2-year production car, at least in Canada, under the Asuna name. I'm sure that they made the same car under different names, so you can get different versions. But Asuna specifically, pretty rare these days to see. Yeah, so cool. So freaking cool. Probably another old Ford. Obviously, I'm not 100% sure. There's a V8 in it. Yeah, it's a Ford. Came from North Bay, this car. It's the last place it was serviced, at least. $216,000 Red interior, so cool. A lot more options on the North American cars for sure versus the Japanese counterparts, but Japanese cars were just cheaper and more reliable. Yeah, it's nuts. What is it? A Crown Victoria. Isn't this the type that they used for cop cars? Old Crown Vics? I believe so. Whatever they had in this back building here, it's huge. Old like 80s, 90s camper. That's what it looks like at least. So much stuff like planter boxes, metal pipe that I just got stabbed by. Oh gosh. I don't think we're going in this camper, guys. It is just packed full of stuff again. It's like old record players, sports equipment, radios. There's an old computer monitor, a bunch of old Christmas or birthday cards. Like, this is pretty wild. That's nuts. And yes, I know I'm missing probably some stuff, like it's like on the ground, but I only like showing you guys really the interesting stuff. Quite a few boats on this property too. I think we've seen 3 so far. This being the 3rd. Still on its trailer. I think it runs with all the sticks and twigs and leaves in it. Now, okay, there's some stuff over here in the forest. I think there's another pickup truck and there's a boat and another camper. Now, it gets really close to the neighbor's property, and I'm not sure if that's their property or not, so I'm gonna leave those alone, I think. Got another Chevy Astro van. Oh, is that a Volvo Wagon back there? Yeah, I guess they like their Astro vans too. I think Astro vans are really cool personally, so I get it. $210,000-ish. Astro vans just make sense to me because they're like a nice form factor. They're not giant transportation vans, but you could definitely haul anything you'd really ever probably need in something like this. So I think that's really cool personally. Oh, got a dream car, a Volvo Wagon. I'll get to that in a second. Love Volvos. Love wagons more so though. I'd imagine that if the house was not set on fire and open, we'd find a lot of stuff like this, just piles and piles of garbage essentially, especially the stuff that's been left outside is garbage. I'm not saying that their stuff that they own is garbage, but currently you can't do anything with it. Like if somebody buys this property, everything here would likely just get scrapped. Crazy. So that's a dyed colored diesel tank right there. An old pop-up camper trailer. Right there. Now this is definitely my favorite car on the property. The Asuna is cool, but the Volvo wins over everything. Wish they'd bring station wagons back in North America. Volvos, Volkswagens, Toyota wagons, like any wagon would be great if it came back. I'd love to buy a brand new wagon. We just don't really have that option anymore, which sucks. Such practical cars, but look at it, it's beautiful. It's in terrible shape, but it's beautiful. It's probably like a 740D, if I had to guess. Wow, 372,000 K. They obviously loved their Volvos. They drove them. Yeah, it's bad though. It's rotted right out. You got some old Nob Hill Farms baskets though. If you know, you know. If you don't, then you will one day. Looks like they got aftermarket speakers for it. Yeah, this is a sick car. So much trunk space too. Like, look at the size of it. Now, what is it? Okay, it's a because they really like 240 DLs or GLs. So this is just a wagon variant, probably. Yeah, this is awesome. So cool. The only thing this is missing is roof rails. I feel like roof rails are like a quintessential wagon feature. This is the end of the property. Got another boat trailer, but that just goes to train tracks, so it can't go that way. We do have a boat here. The Legend. Little fishing boat. Looks like. Yeah, favorite car on the property for sure is the Volvo, the 240 DL. I love those rims too. They're very cool. The Asuna is also very cool. So it looks like we can just walk into the building from back here, so I think that's what we're gonna do. Just based on the rest of the property, I'm gonna assume that it's just full of stuff. The board looks fairly new. Oh man, I don't even know if we're gonna be able to walk in here. Oh, there's like nude magazines and stuff. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff in here. I might actually have to go from the front. I'd say they were either a hoarder or they, maybe they were having a business selling stuff, but, oh yeah, this is gonna be impossible. We'll have to go through the front and show from the front what we can, but look at this. This whole building, it's either collapsed or it's just impassable. Man. I'd imagine at one point you'd be able to walk through here. I'm not wearing steel toes either, right? So we don't want to hurt ourselves walking through all this. I can see that there's like a really sketchy path, but I just don't know if it's worth it. I'll give it a try, I guess. No. No. Let's not do that. That is crazy. It almost looks like an old auction barn. That's the vibe it gives off. Old safe right there. But there's like laundry machines. There's everything in here. So let's see if we can get in here a different way. I know the front door was open. I'd almost hazard to guess that there's more cars in there at some point as well. Or there still is cars in there. Because that definitely opens up like a garage. The amount of stuff just everywhere. I know I keep saying that, but it's just crazy to see. There's a big satellite dish. This is open. Nope. Now, I don't think we're going to get in, but I might be able to show you from the side. God, there's a lot of stuff in the way. Yeah, we're not seeing anything. The building simply has caved in on itself. There's nothing to see here. All right, well, I guess that wraps up this property, doesn't it? All right, Nowhere crew, that's gonna wrap up this explore of this hoarder's abandoned field of cars. Let's just say that's what it is. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button so you're updated with all of the recent and new videos that I post. And if you'd like to, drop a comment down below. Tell me what your favorite car here is. I'd love to know. And if you had unlimited money, what would you fix from here? A boat, a car, and if it's a car, which one? Personally, the Volvo Wagon was my choice. Would love to bring that back and drive that around. But with that, guys, I am out. I will see you in the next one. Peace.